Okay, are we up? Microphone on. Here we are. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Hi. Ding, we're up. Okay. Question number 1. Is there a buzz in a microphone? Good morning, good morning. Can I get a bit of feedback? Is the microphone sound basically clear, or do we have that bzzz, something kind of sound in the background of it? No buzz, he says. Okay. Last night and this morning we've been having huge trouble with our microphone cables here. Back at Owl Station, yes. It gets noise when you don't speak. Slight when you start talking. So I'm hearing both feedbacks. I don't know. And there's nothing I can do about it right now. It gets noise. Possibly too much gain. Mic too close. I don't know. Who knows? If I put the mic, let's try putting the mic away from my body here. I'll put the mic up on the desk here. Over there. Testing 1, 2, 3. The mic is now on the bench in front of the camera, I see. Seems better. It'll probably, when I bang the bench, anyway, whatever. Making a noise when I don't talk. That might be picking up the fan from the computer now. The reason we're having trouble with it today is that a few weeks ago, this microphone cable, call it microphone cable A, seemed to have been giving trouble on the Twitch stream. When I unplugged the cable and put the mic directly into the camera, there was a very clean, clear sound. So I bought a new mic cable, which seemed to be okay. But last night, making the YouTube video, that new mic cable was giving a huge buzz. So when I get a bit of time, something, whatever, I've got to get a bunch of cables here and try them and figure out what's going on. Yeah, it's back to the owls. I know the orders just do not stop. This is good news, I guess, but everybody else here is swamped with work. So they all look around the room, who can do this, who can do this, who can do this, nobody can do it. They end up looking back at me and I'm like, okay guys. The problem, of course, is I'm supposed to be carving on the first subscription print for next year. Bluetooth mic, God, I don't know, my experience with those things is awful, but whatever. I need something better, that's for sure. Just upscale and get a better professional microphone. The problem seems to be the cords. It's the cords rather than the mic. Okay, let's roll. I'm not sure what's in here. The girls left it for me. The paper's not well prepared. They just think that because I can do anything, they just jam it together and leave it for me. She started it, so some of these have one color on, and some of them don't have anything, so I'm not sure what's in the stack here. Anyway, we all know what's coming here, so let's get going. Yeah, I know. The more demand, I know. The problem, is I know I'm not laughing anymore. I know the orders now are too big, way, way big for our production capability. I know I'm actually not laughing about this. The Great Waves now, we've just shut down the website. And there's no more batch being printed until January because we don't have the printers for it. Jed this morning called. He wants 100 more of the different Heroes prints. We don't have them. We don't have a printer scheduled for them. I'm not laughing. I can't get printers. It's from two things. One is because our standards are a certain standard, and a lot of the older printers in town can't or won't do what we want. And the other problem is the younger printers in town still left. Tetsui-san, Shimura-san, Okada-san. There's a bunch. There's 3 or 4 printers. They're good enough to do what we want, but they're busy. Every printer in town now is busy with the modern boom in ukiyo-e. A lot of that boom has been, of course, caused by me and Jed. We did what we did the past few years. So it's frustrating. We've been really responsible for a huge increase in woodblock printmaking in the last few years. Because of that, all the competent people are busy, and we can't hire them. We need to start training more people, and we need to start training more people like 3 years ago. But we didn't because there wasn't work 3 years ago. So that's a huge paradox that we've got ourselves into this jam. And no joke, we are pretty much just going to have to shut down the ordering. Just make what prints we can for things like subscriptions and for things in the shop. Where's my sheet, my protective sheet that I prepared here? Yeah, nice rich deep blue. Good, good, good. More time for printing and carving if I just stopped sleeping. Why didn't I think of that? Let's try it tonight. I heard a question ding there, but just let me finish. I gotta do one sheet at a time here. I gotta be careful with the questions when I'm printing, because if I muck around too much, the block dries out. Especially right now, because we're just starting this morning. The block isn't really wet enough yet. So I gotta be careful with taking breaks from the work here. The fanfare, of course, was another order. Has anyone kept track of how many of these owls have been printed? Yes, of course we keep track. We pay our printers, We have total, all our inventory is tracked. What we print, what we make, what we carve, what we sell, it's all in there. These blocks will last. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I know. As you saw in the video last night, we run 1,000 of those Great Wave, and the block that wears the most, the key block, is just looking, I can't say brand new, but it really is just getting going. Thousands and thousands of prints. And something a little chibi like this owl is no problem. the background block here, there's no edges that catch the wear. You know, the block itself, the flat surface, doesn't wear. When wood blocks wear out, it's the carved edges that we're talking about. So if something's made up of a lot of small dots and stuff, that would wear out very quickly. But flat surfaces don't wear. The wear is all on the edge, and here that means nothing. Very nice. Okay, let's see what kind of a question we got there. The block's going to dry. The block's nowhere near 1,000. The owl is nowhere near 1,000. Where's the Twitch question box? It's full. One's from Cameron. You can wait for there. Yeah, this is interesting in the video. Okay, I'll get to that. Oh, fountain pens. I'm sorry, I can't think about that. A couple of people have asked me in the mail. The two great waves that I showed last night have different coloration, slightly different coloration. And there's nothing to do with fading. That's the way we made them. And there's a long story there, and it needs a video of its own. I can touch on it here. The earlier of those two great wave prints that you see in the video last night, the older one, the one from 3 years ago, was printed by Numabi-san. He's the first printer we pulled on board to do this job. I mean, I did the first batch myself, but then it went to Numabi-san for the first, production run. And he has trained in the modern era here, and he's been printing great waves since he was like knee-high. He's done thousands of them for different publishers. The contemporary way to make the great wave, and I've got some samples in the shop which we show people when they're here. The modern way to print that thing is with warm, nice blues, a real deep sort of pink, red colored sky. The whole thing looks warm and happy and friendly. And that's totally, absolutely wrong. That's not what that design is about. That's not what the old copies look like. It's not a warm, happy, friendly print. It's a scene of death, destruction, fear, drowning, cold, deep sea. But he doesn't get that. He doesn't know that. All he knows is what he was trained to do and what he was shown to do and what has become normal for them. And I don't like that at all. I don't want that. I want that print to you to be scared when you look at it, to be fearful, to feel like, oh my God, these guys are going to drown any second now. It has to be cold. And when you look at the original ones, it's really hard to tell because the blue is one of the pigments that fades the most. So there's no absolute, this is how it was. You can't really say that. We can guess how we think it was. And we know what pigments were available back there. I think that print should not be warm and happy and friendly. I think it should be just, oh my God, death is right here in front of us. If we drop into that sea, we will drown in a freezing cold sea instantly. So I want the printers to use a cold blue pigment. I don't want that happy sky. I just want some thing mist back in the sky there. But Numabi-san won't come around. I mean, he's just, half because he thinks I'm noisy and he doesn't go along with what I think, and half because he's just, his whole lifetime of training is in a different area. So he met me part way on those first prints. And this is one of the reasons why I asked him not to do anymore, why I sent to a different printer. Because Kubota-san is a mature, older printer, and although he doesn't agree with me on this, he recognizes that I'm the boss on this job. And he actually does what I ask for. He does it my way. So that's the difference you're seeing in those two prints. The newer, the older print, the one that was on the right-hand side in the video, is not quite what I wanted in terms of coloration. The one on the left-hand side, this guy is doing what I want. So what you're seeing there is not fading, it's color choice. Long answer to a simple question, sorry. You've got 49 from the Kickstarter, so you've got then probably one of the ones printed by Numabi-san. So again, he's using warmer colors than what I really wanted for that print. An early copy, 49, wow. And we don't do the numbering thing, but I wonder someday, when this is all over and done and when I'm long out of here, are those things going to be something that people are going to look for? Oh my God, there's one of the early Kickstarter Great Waves, one of Dave's first, blah, blah, blah. I really don't want to start doing that, Jed numbers all the Ukiyo-e Heroes prints just sequentially. They're not limited editions in any way, but he just numbers them. going up and up and up and up. In fact, he and I on Sunday night at the end of the Tokyo Comic Con, this is actually a bit of news here too. The Comic Con was here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Jed was here. He said he did a real good business. He's coming back next year for sure. He was very happy about it. So while he was here, he and I did some work together. I know in the Kickstarter campaign a couple of months ago, we put in a special item, a book. It'll be a bound book of Ukiyo Heroes prints, the first 10, the one from the Mario Kart going up to the Blue Storm print. And we put it in the Kickstarter. It sold out in a few minutes. And what it is, it's 10 prints bound into book form. Anyway, all the 10 prints, we've been making them since then, bit by bit by bit, we've been printing. And when Jed was here, we asked him to bring over his hanko, his seal. So while he was here, he and I found a restaurant table on Sunday night, had dinner first, cleared off the table, and then had a signing and sealing session. I brought the prints, and he had his seal, and I passed them to him one by one. He checked them over, signed, sealed, passed it back to me for drying, and blah, blah, blah. We had a little assembly line going there. The waitress is like trying to bring some water. Get it away! We don't want anything on this table. We had a good time doing that. So anyway, the production now is approaching the binding stage for anybody here who is waiting for their book. So. No water near the prints. We got a rule. I mean, and there's no drink, there's no coffee next to your workbench. We just don't do that. It's too easy to get a disaster. And especially when we're looking at a batch of finished prints, we clear the table. There's no cups of tea or coffee or anything allowed anywhere near a batch of prints. I mean, you can imagine 200 prints, whatever. Somebody knocks over a cup of coffee and that's it. So no way, no way, no way. Oh, a couple of things I gotta mention. Forget the block for a minute. Can I put a link in here? Two links that came up yesterday. This is fun. We've talked about the movie, our movie. Another question. Our movie, here's click 1. This is a link to somebody who's done a review of our movie, which just came up the other day. And I was Googling around to see if there was another review about it. And it seems, this is big news, we talked about our movie. It's on Netflix here in Japan. It's on Hulu in North America starting on December the 30th. And we found out just yesterday, it is now on iTunes. But only in the US, it seems. Don't quite sure. It's not here in Japan. And I myself still don't have a copy of the film. I've seen it once in the film festival in Toronto last spring. The guys who made it won't give me a copy. They're worried that I'll dub it and stream it or something. So I've only seen it once. I don't know about other plans. The people who made the movie, they don't tell us anything. We never hear about any of these episodes or plans or what's coming up. We hear it from fans. We find it ourselves on Google searches. They don't tell us anything about this. So I have no idea. When will it be on Netflix in America or whatever? I just don't know. Nothing I can help you with. I don't know. No, he knows. I've asked him, give me a copy, give me a DVD dub, give me anything. Something with a time code stripped on it, so I won't copy it. Anything. He just will not give it to me. So I'm going to buy it on iTunes when it comes up. Dave, a bit out of focus. Yeah, it is. It's going funny again, is it? Nothing I need. Come on, camera, do your job, I think. Is it not focusing at all? No. I hesitate to play with this in case it gets a whole lot worse. That's where it's supposed to focus. There. It is. Is it focused now? Let me leave it for a minute. It's got the junk on the screen, but just a minute. Let me leave it, see what happens. Also, I tried today to put the camera in a position where you could see the light on the block. You're seeing sort of the same thing I'm doing. Just a minute. You're seeing... I myself, there's a light above the bench, so I see the shiny reflection off the block. Is it staying in focus? I'm seeing the shiny reflection this way, and you guys are seeing the shiny reflection that way, and we need this. Absolutely, we need this to be able to do our printmaking properly. If you can't see what pigment is on the block, you're dead. Is it holding? I don't know, because I'm moving too much, This is a second pass through the blue. This is to deepen it up. This print, as we've talked about this many, many times, but okay, again, a real super high quality, wonderfully experienced printer with well-sized paper would do this in one pass. Put a lot of rich pigment on the block, print and go for it, bang, it's done. For us in the here and now, rather than doing it one with a deep rich tone, doing it twice with slightly lighter tones gives us a much better effect for 3 or 4 reasons. One is layering stuff gives extra richness rather than just having a single impression. And second is it minimizes the chance of mistakes. If we do this just in one pass and I get a tiny brush streak somewhere, bang, that shows in the print. But by doing it in 2 passes lightly, the imperfections get covered up by each other. It's much easier to get a smooth impression that's clean by doing it lightly twice. Keep forgetting to wipe here. So the old printer would look at us and say, Jesus, these guys don't know what they're doing. And maybe he's right, but whatever. We do what we can do. And we're getting pretty good results here. It's also the paper, Ultimately, the paper was so much better, so much easier to print. I'm not going to blame the tools and stuff, but it's true. It really is true. You talk about that old master printer who would laugh at us and say, let me show you, let me do it in one pass. He doesn't know. This paper is not what it used to be, so I'm going to ask him to give us a bit of a break here. Yeah, the focus now. I keep putting my hand in the way and it focuses on my arm, I think. If I try and keep my hand out of the way, I don't know, sorry. We need a cameraman here. Yeah, right, like I can hire somebody to sit here for 2 hours. I don't know what the girls have prepared for me. I think there's a few more copies of the double impression here. Getting gun shy, trying to keep my right hand out of the way of the camera. I wonder what the count is on the owls, you know. I haven't been keeping track. I mean, our system keeps track, but I haven't particularly watched it. Shall I find out? I can check both things, how many we've sold and how many we've made. What's the owl statistics here? If I go to my manager system, the owl is item number 0334, and today there's been orders for 232 copies. That's as of last night, not including the night's orders. And the numbers that have come off our printing benches so far, 236. So we've made 236, not counting this group, and we've sold 232, not counting the last night's orders. And there's about 20 orders in the bench, in the box from last night. So our shipping staff, they alerted me like 2 days ago. Dave, we're going to run out in 2 days. Do something. So that's why I'm here today. And today's what? What day is it today? Wednesday. It'll be, I guess, Friday or so when we run out again. So, well, actually, might not, because today's December 6th, and December 7th, between 7th and the 11th, is the finishing time for the Japanese Post Office to guarantee orders for overseas. In fact, I said that's tomorrow. I forget which country. It's on our website, on the order page for these owls. The dates are shown there. I think it's Canada, England, some countries. December 7th is the last day, which is tomorrow. And then December 11th is the final day for anywhere else. So that'll put an end to the owl orders for a while. Hoot, hoot, hoot. Yeah, I'm having a hoot. I'm having fun, I like doing this job, That's something we tried to talk about in some of the videos, I've made now. How many owls? I just told you, 230 whatever. So they each get two background copies. So I've printed this particular block now, something over 500 times, I guess, in the past month. And am I having fun today? Yeah, I like it. I like my job. It's fun, you know. There's something about this printing thing, you know. I know what's going to happen 20 seconds now when I lift up this paper. I'm going to see a sheet of paper with a nice deep blue rich color. And I know it. I've done it so many times. So what's the thrill, you know? But yet it's still fun. It's still a hoot. It's still a kick. And it's also freakingly difficult. You know, those of you guys who've tried this now. Nice, neat, clean. You know, it's just so pleasing to do this. And it doesn't get stale. 40 odd years. Yeah, that documentary review, right? Shirtless? I don't think so. What was he seeing one day? Maybe one day in the middle of... He was here filming in August, so maybe there was some hot day. I don't know. I was printing and printing. We're having focus problems again, right? Come on, guy. So some particular August day, yeah, whatever. Nobody else in the building, working late one night. I took my clothes off, you know, whatever. I don't know if that got into the video. Twisted into a pretzel as he meticulously chisels the illustration into the wood. The other phrase in the review, is that the same review you're looking at? Down at the very end of the review, I said something like, this guy will take time to let this guy grow on you or something. I forget what it said. I had to laugh when I saw that. Too bad my dad didn't see this, you know. He passed away last February. Long, happy life, 89. Really good guy, a really neat guy. And it's too bad he didn't get a chance to see that thing. He would have just laughed himself silly, you know. That's my kid up on the screen, you know. He just wouldn't have been able to stop laughing. You know? Yeah, if you give Dave a chance to grow on you as he explains and works on his craft, I guess. Is that pretentious or is it true? I don't know. No idea. Yeah, I've only seen that documentary once, you know, but it was fun to sit there in the theater and watch it. But actually, it was a bit disappointing for me, you know. It was disappointing for me actually not seeing it, but while we were producing it, while we were making it, I was really quite disappointed. And the guy who came, it was a one-man show, you know, one guy with a camera, with a couple of lights and stuff like that. It was a totally one-man show, the physical production. I don't know about the posts and everything else, but the filming was a one-man show. It was the producer himself. Eh? And I was so disappointed. He and I actually locked horns and had some real trouble, quite all the way through. Partly it was a definition of terms. When they introduced themselves and when we signed the contract and stuff, Jed and I, we were under the impression they were going to make a documentary film about us. That was the whole proposal. So okay, whatever. We chatted and agreed and everything else, signed our NDA and all that other stuff. And it wasn't a documentary at all. They came with a script. He knew the story he wanted to tell. He had it all worked out before he came. This American and Canadian guy would save Japanese woodblock printmaking. So that was the idea he had in mind before he came. And he cut and pasted stuff to fit his idea. He wasn't interested in listening to anything. He wasn't interested in discovering anything. There's tons of backstory here. There's tons of interesting things going on. And he didn't get or see any of it. And to me, when you're trying to make a documentary, you don't come in with a script. You come in with sort of an idea. I think there's something in there. Let's dig around until we try and see what's actually going on. But that's not what happened. So one day, whatever, somebody with better, I don't know, filmmaking ability, I think, will come along, sit down and talk to us, and can tell this story in a much, much more interesting, much, much better way. I think. Is the camera holding its own, or is it still playing games, I think it's out of focus again, isn't it? Seems all right. Even that documentary guy, and even the production stuff, where he came into the room where I was carving that print, just look around and says, okay, let's see, okay, I got this camera. Okay, what we're going to need to do, he says, we're going to need to change those lights. I don't like it. Put some order in, get rid of those, incandescents. I'm going to need LEDs, and I want color temperature 5.4, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait. This is my workroom, These are our lights. This is what we do. This is what we use. I'm not going to go out buy more lights just for your camera. And he says, well, it's got to look good on screen, Go and buy the lights I want. And I'm like, this is a documentary. You're supposed to just film what you see, what you find. And we were arguing back and forth. He wants me to go and buy lights, and I refuse to buy lights. I'm not trying to be cheap. This is my workroom, So right from the ground zero, he had a whole different concept of what was actually going on, When you want to make a movie, you do that sort of thing. You organize lights, you organize everything. Anyway, not to complain. It's helped us a lot. A lot of people have learned about our work from it. No, it's okay. Well, it's all right. Don't give the guy any money, whatever. It's helped us hugely, It's sold a ton of prints for us. All this last couple of months, it's been on the Delta seatback entertainment system through October and November. We didn't know about that. So all through those last 2 months, we get people coming up the stairs almost every day. Hey, I never heard about you. I was on the way to Japan. I saw this film in the back of the seat. So it really has helped us. And it's here on Netflix in Japan. It brings people into the shop every day. So I'm bitching about the relationship with the guy and what it could have been. It could have been better, but my God, it's helped our work a lot. We didn't get paid for it, of course. That wasn't part of the concept, wasn't part of the deal. You don't get paid for being in a documentary. But it has wonderfully helped us. I think that's part of his reason of just sort of flushing me off, Dave, I keep asking, can I have a copy and stuff? He's just like, blows me away. You've earned enough from this or whatever. I don't know. There's one funny scene. Funny for me. I saw the film only once at the film festival in Toronto. And there was one scene where the whole place just cracked up laughing. You can see it in the trailer. There's two or three different trailers, but the trailer that's on the iTunes page that I linked earlier, you can see one clip. Jed's son and I are doing a Skype back and forth. And the guy went over to America. So he's filming at my side sometimes. He flew over to America, filmed from Jed's side. So he's filming Jed's face while Jed is talking to Dave on Skype. And there's one point, I forget what I said. I said something about blah, 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 blah. It's going to be difficult, Jed, blah, 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 blah. And Jed looked at the camera and rolls his eyes like, oh God, here he goes again. And the whole audience just totally, absolutely cracked up. And I'm like, I talked to Jed about this later. He says, oh no, I don't do that. I don't do that. For me, it's worth it just to see that one scene, a little cut, something that I never see in real life of Jed listening to Dave and rolling his eyes. And it's the trailer that's on the iTunes page. I don't know if it's different from each person, each country, I don't know, but the one I saw last night. I can see the trailer on the iTunes page, but I can't order the thing because it's iTunes America, not Japan. Excuse me. I have no idea when it's coming. I don't know. No idea. iTunes, like I said, because I'm based in Japan, I couldn't go through the iTunes ordering system. Can you buy it now? How much is it? I couldn't even see any of those things. What does it say? Pre-order? I don't know. Ha, Jed's here. Soka, soka, soka. Jed, the whole place exploded when that scene came along, Oops, look at this. Defect in the paper. I'm going to blame somebody else for this one. Can we see it? Will it focus or not? I don't know. If I hold still, will the camera focus? Come on, do your job. It's not going to focus. Where's the spot? Anyway, you can get the idea. There's a white open spot here on the thing. The sizing, it's my mistake. When we were sizing the paper, there was a little bit of undissolved glue. So this will be a reject, so it's a clear open space. If that happened to be down low, covered by a leaf or something, we'd be okay. Yeah, it'll get binned. Jed, has Toru-san given you a copy of this thing, or has he refused? Have you asked him outright? I've asked him, and he's just refused to send me one. What has he said to you? He won't give you a DVD dub or something, or? Okay, those were all second passes. It had been printed once already, and this was the second pass. Now the girls have prepared some more paper for me in here that hasn't been printed yet at all. So the next group now, I'm going to do the first pass and then go through it again for a second pass. Somebody says, I'm sure I'm missing something. Why the same print over and over? Well, this is my job. I'm a printer. We're making prints And we don't just make just one. I know the other guys in the stream can maybe help explain what actually is going on here if you're new here. Sure, much weaker than the previous one. So this is one coat. It'll get a second coat in a few minutes. This is from Sweden here. I don't recognize your name. I don't know what the names are. No, thank you very much. Good. The ladies are trying to pack them nicely, you know. They know that at Christmas time people want this nice packaging, so. Music by Dave, artwork by Jed. Yeah, well, ask me 40 years ago. That's not my bag now, but. Paper's a bit too hard. What do we do with the blocks after printing? We store them because they get used again and again and again. This is our capital. My home out in Ome there's 4 stories in it, and every floor is stacked and stacked and stacked with wood blocks. After nearly 30 years of this now, many of these prints take many, many colors. They've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of wood. And I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of block sets. My house is jammed to the rafters with them. It's a huge problem for woodblock publishing companies, how to store the blocks. Back in the older days here in the 20th century, there were 2 gigantic disasters for the woodblock publishing companies. One was the earthquake in Tokyo. It was 1923, I think, was it? And it totally, absolutely destroyed thousands, tens of thousands of woodblocks. The Watanabe company, their business was just wiped out, burned to the ground. They had to start again from scratch. Then, of course, the same thing, the air raids in 1945 destroyed the thing again. Some companies, the Yoshida people, they saw what was coming, Hiroshi Yoshida, and he moved his blocks out into the country in the 40s because he could see what was coming up, and he got his blocks out of the way. So the Yoshida blocks from the pre-war period are still here, but the other companies, Watanabe, Doi, their blocks are gone. The American bombers took care of all that stuff. And my blocks too, they're out in the country. We keep them out in Ome. My house is a concrete, the bottom 2 floors are concrete. It could burn out, I guess, but whatever. There's limits as to how well we can protect things. But if we keep blocks here in Asakusa, the risk is earthquake. Tokyo is well overdue for a massive earthquake and fire. The blocks out in my house in Ome are presumably as safe as we can get them. But yeah, same thing might happen. Maybe Mokuhankan's business will be wiped out by an earthquake / fire at some point. The blocks are worthless to anybody else except us, of course. Yeah. So. And we had this sort of episode last month. Remember, we were contacted by somebody who has a bunch of the old Takamizawa blocks, about 40 to 50 of them. And to anybody else, they're worthless. To us, they're a total treasure. This guy knows that. So at the end of the negotiations, it came out, it turned out that he wanted more than $20,000 for the batch. And we were willing to offer somewhere near $10,000 at the end, when the final negotiations were going back and forth. And we laughed at him, sorry, and he laughed at us, sorry. So he's gone back home and he's still sitting there with the blocks. And we're just thinking, because nobody else can possibly have any use for them except us, we just think he'll come back and say, okay. But at the moment, the blocks are there in his warehouse. Nobody can see them or use them or touch them. But because he's asking too much, he has an overinflated value, I think. But he also knows that we could use them to make money. So he's thinking we should make the investment, $20,000 or so. But simply we can't. So it's on hold, or he's still trying to sell to other people. Maybe he has done so, I don't know. I have no communication with him now. We just closed off. We're waiting for him to come back with another offer. White streak there. Mistake. Maybe on the other color I'll cover it up. Who knows? What's left in the stack here? We had a bunch left. 9 o'clock or something. We're okay. Keep going here. Yesterday was, our closing day here, Tuesday. The shop is closed on Tuesday. And usually I'm sort of not around here. I go out to the workshop in Ome. So simply the door is closed here and that's it. But yesterday I was here. I took the day to make that YouTube video. So I was actually here in the building all day. And at lunchtime I went across the street. There's a little cafe across the street. So I went over there, had my lunch, and I sat actually in the window seat there so I could look back at the shop. And I know people came to the shop. You'd see a couple with a little backpack walking along the road, looking at it, their Google, iPhone or whatever. I'm thinking, oh no, please no. And yet they get to our door, look at it, read the sign, try the door handle, and they've come from, I have no idea where, somewhere around the world. And there we are, they hit our closing day. And as I sat there for lunch, this happened 3 times. And I thought, what do I run over there? Do I open the shop, cut my lunch? And this must have been happening all day long. I didn't hear it. I was upstairs, the door is a long way downstairs. So should we not have a closing day? I don't know. I can't. I just can't do that, I just can't do that. We don't have staff, If we could find more people, we could rotate more and some people could do it. And I can't be here 7 days a week, And I don't know what else to say. We've advertised it right from the beginning. We've always been closed Tuesdays. Our website says so. The Lonely Planet says so. Everything we put out clearly says it's closed Tuesdays, but I don't know. They must have been, whatever, disappointed. They came to just look at a print or buy a print or see me or whatever. I don't know. A Dave robot to be around 24 hours a day. It's called the internet. I mean, a web page is not the idea. The web page and the YouTube channel. I'm there 24 hours a day. You think it might be easy, just hire a couple more staff, get some people, $10 an hour, whatever, bang, do it. We can't do that. It's no good having the shop open, just open. You've got to, we've got to know what we're doing. The staff on the floor of the shop, they have to know they have to know about ukiyo-e prints. They've got to be able to answer questions. They've got to be able to show how the prints are made. It's not just, I can't hire staff, just pick up like McDonald's can, train you in 15 minutes and away you go, serve your hamburgers. We need knowledgeable people on the floor there who can talk to people about what we're doing and about prints and everything else. We just can't find these people. Do I do the print parties? I can't say a crapshoot. I know the first 2.5 years here in the shop, I did all the print parties, period. for a couple of reasons. One is, as I said, we hadn't had staff trained to do it, but also I was trying to show the staff what a print party is. They have a different concept of it than I do. They think it's teaching. Stand up, line up, we will now explain something to you, you're a student, and you will learn it. That's not my concept at all. My concept of a print party is, we're just going to fool around with something and have some fun together and laugh ourselves silly and enjoy really learning and feeling how a woodblock print is made. So I did all the parties for the first 2 years. And now the staff, Teiko-san and Kawai-san, the other two main party hosts, get it. They now do print parties in the way that I want them to do print parties. So we share it. I'm there some days, Kawai-san's there, Teiko-san's there, Audrey is getting good at this now. There's 4 or 5 of us that rotate through it. So if you get me, if this is a crapshoot, I'm sorry, I can't be there every day to do all the parties. It's just not possible. The staff who is there is doing a very good job, and you will have a good time. You will have a good time. Camera's out of focus again. I think it's okay. It goes in and out if I get my hand stuck in the way there. When's the sales tax going up to 10%? I don't know if they're actually going to do that. I think the plan is next April, is it? I don't know. It's not going to affect our business at all. 90% of our business is overseas, which the sales tax doesn't apply. When people are in the shop, they get, as long as we've got their passport and a number, they can get it tax-free. 8 to 10%, it's not going to change us at all, I think. It's way too low. It should be much higher, I think. Most European countries, what's the tax rate, and stuff like that? VAT tax, it's like 12, 15, 18 or something in some countries. Japan's in debt and the taxes are too low. They should be higher. It's 9 o'clock. Cameron must be downstairs. I didn't hear the doorbell or anything. Another order? I'm happy, I'm supposed to be happy. I'm happy, really, when the orders come in. I'm happy, believe me. Talking about your white plum print, Mr. Quantar. I never know how you pronounce your name there. Mr. DB. Share my initials. I know the print you've got there from the Yoshida studio. I know I can't say this as a sort of a sales talk, but whatever. They're going to be gone. I know Namabe is their printer at the moment. The same guy I talked about earlier doing my Great Wave prints. He's been the Yoshida printer now for a decade since Komatsu-san retired. And they've made a real mistake, I think, in that they haven't trained the next generation. And Namabe's been working in their workshop now for all those years with nobody else training. And he's now talking about retiring. He's having trouble with his back and his shoulder. He's 66. And the Yoshidas don't have another printer lined up. And last time I was talking to Tsukasa-san, Yoshida, the grandson of Hiroshi, he's thinking of just, that's it, packing up the box and calling it a day. He's going to teach printmaking as a sort of an artist. He teaches to people as artist printing, sosaku work. And they're just going to stop making the reprints. So the current batch, these few years, how long it's going to go on for, I don't know, are pretty much the end of it, perhaps. And then the Yoshida prints are going to be done. Speaking about same initials, I had an interesting email this morning. Very interesting email from this morning. The title of the email was, "Hey, nice name." And at first I thought it was spam. I'm thinking, like, why didn't this go into the spam folder? The next thing I saw is it's marked as from David Bull. And that's a cleared spam. I mean, you get spam going around that comes with your own name, so it gets through your filter. Turned out neither of those things were true. It was from a guy called David Bull. So YouTube recommended my video to him for some reason, which I don't know why. Then he liked the video. He says, "I'll be in Japan next year, so hey, let's stop by and have a drink together." So Dave Bull meets Dave Bull. It's not such a rare name, actually. In Britain, it's quite common. I know Bull is a very common family name in Britain. And David, of course, is David. That's one of the top names in any generation. So in Britain, there must be many, many people with my name. So. Is it holding its focus? I think I'm moving around too much and putting different things in the way of the camera. Okay, let's flip that little stack over now and do the second impression on them. Yeah, that's the end of the stack. So. What part of the UK? I was born in Yorkshire, actually, myself, not just my family. I'm British. I was born in Halifax, Yorkshire. Halifax, Yorkshire. Can't you tell from my accent? Yeah, look at this. It's funny, I don't have documentation of this, but it's a family story. My mother tells me this. My birth was announced on the BBC. It's funny. She swears it's a true story, and my dad says it is too. He says it was nothing, no big deal. My dad was what they call a dance orchestra musician in those days. He was too young. He just missed the war. He was taken into the Air Force when he was like 17 in 1944. So he didn't actually have to go to the war. He was started training and stuff, and then bingo, the Germans gave up, and that was the end of it. So they were that generation. And when the war ended, he was a saxophone player, so he joined a dance orchestra. And the what we would now call maybe a dance band or a stage band, the Americans I think call it like that, a dance orchestra. And he was in one of the top dance orchestras at the time. It's not like the Glenn Miller level of fame that we now know these days. But in its day in England, It was a group called the Oscar Rabin Orchestra, and it was big time. It's like being a member of a rock band today. The girls line up at the stage door and stuff like this. He wasn't personally famous, but his band was famous, the Oscar Rabin Orchestra. And he was the baritone sax player. He got this job when he was like 21 or 22 or so. Just a minute. And for my mother, this was kind of catch. You catch one of these guys from these famous bands, The downside for her was that he was off playing every night. And they used to get on a tour bus and, tour around England and stuff like that. They would drive the bus to a different dance hall, play there, get on the bus and drive to another dance hall the next night. So he was away from home quite a lot. And not away from home every night, because obviously I came along, but whatever. And she says at the time that I was born, she was in hospital. They were playing the radio. And on the BBC at that time, there was lots and lots of programs about this dance music and about these orchestras. And the Oscar Rabin Band had a half-hour special every week. It was whatever time it was, Sunday night, 8:30, whatever. The Oscar Rabin Orchestra presents blah, 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 dance music. And the day I was born, my mother phoned my dad to tell him what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And there they are. The announcer stops at one point during the program and says, "This is all live, Nick. Come on, focus, you camera." The announcer at one point says, "We've got an announcement from the band. One of the members tonight, Roy Bull, has just told us that his wife is in hospital in Halifax and they've just given birth to a baby boy, David Bull." This is on a BBC radio live. So how many people can claim that their birth was announced on the BBC? It's not going to focus any closer than that. But I don't have it. There's no tape of it. There's no cut of it. Well, I would pay big money to have a tape of that program. And of course I would. Bunch of free prints, money, you name it. I would just die to have that recorded, Band member Roy Bull, or whatever the wording was, tells us that his wife, and, greetings to Betty in the hospital, or whatever it was they said, This would have been, and it was November 11th, 1951. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Have you ever received one of these before? My train was delayed, so they gave me an excuse slip.
Just a minute, let me finish your sheet. No, I've never. Hang on a minute. What? To show your boss?
Yep.
No way. Give me just a minute. And on Facebook. Yep. Facebook. Yeah. Absolutely Facebook.
Okay, I'll just
scan it. Yep. Scan it right up. Here, just tell.
I was planning to be here a while ago, but
I was wondering, why is there no bell today from Cameron downstairs? Can we turn this a little bit? But the MacBook audio should be there. Oh no, wait, it's back.
Okay.
Let me see. It's showing me now. Is it back? Because I'm seeing a...
Can you hear?
Just a sec. Yeah, it's back,
Okay.
it's back. Is the audio there? We're back, it's working,
Okay.
but I don't dare move this
Yeah,
because it's obviously a loose plug on the side of this thing.
Step carefully over here.
Hey. Yeah.
Good morning. So.
Got it. I can't move it, camera, because of the plug is really weak. So I don't.
Yeah. So I was riding the train and we kept getting stopped. First we were delayed 5 minutes departure time from the first station. And what is this about? I don't know. And then we stopped for about 20 minutes. Audio's good. Sorry. And...
Go ahead, you keep going. Ignore
okay.
me. I'm just trying to get the focus back.
Oh, okay.
Focus doesn't want to fix.
Got it. Okay. So as I got off the train, they had a man holding a whole stack of these little slips that are excuse forms for why I'm late to work. And it says the date, the 6th, and marked 30 minutes delay on the train. So I thought that was really funny. I don't know anywhere else that would do that. Give me an excuse for being late, but they do that in other countries.
Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Okay.
Chaos here. The camera's decided not to focus, and we've broken something else.
Yeah. Changing the zoom in.
Oh, I think we might have got it.
I'll get out of the way. Thought that was funny.
Okay, I'll make a Facebook post out of it.
Sure.
今9時半までですよね。
そう今ストリーミング中ですが、
そうなんです。
はい。
9時半に赤川さんがもう来てるんですけ
Okay,
ど、
well,
見積もりするんです。
じゃああと何枚。本当に僕の予定はここでずっとすりますが、
はい。
今日入れる？
入れない。
見積もりだけ。
見るだけです。
OK、じゃあ大丈夫かな。はい。
終わってからの方がいいですか？
まあ今ずっとやります。
はい。
予定ですが
わかり。ました。じゃあちょっと待ってから。
まあではちょっと今日彼が来るともちろん。
いやもう来てる。
あ、
ちょっと待ってもらえますか？
はい。It was a nice stream today. All of a sudden it just became chaos, so whatever.
あ、見たですか？はい。あ、ここであ、そうなんです。今ね、エアコンの取り付けの業者さんが見に来るんで。
見ましたが。
It says touch the place you want the focus to be on. So I'm going to touch the place. Exactly. We want the focus to be here. Whatever, people, I've got to get this thing finished. We've only got a few minutes left in the stream, so please just persevere with it for a few minutes. I'm sorry. If I get too, every time I get distracted, it's one more print spoiled. So please just hang in for a few minutes there. Sorry. It wasn't a bad stream today, I think. Yeah, we're coming to the end anyway, so I should sort of explain what's going on. What is it? Today's Wednesday. I'm going to be finished here. These owls today, I'm just going to be sitting here till they're done because as I said, we're already out of stock on them. My next job is going to be getting the color blocks finished for the first print in next year's subscription series. I've been saying the same thing now for a month. So they're on my carving bench downstairs. So tomorrow's job almost certainly will be downstairs on the carving bench, working on those color blocks. That'll be tomorrow morning. I don't know how long it's going to take. It depends again on how much I get distracted and disturbed and how many people come in the shop. But anyway, that's what tomorrow's... Ooh, look at this. Nice and rich. Mwah! And then, I don't know if you heard the distraction just now. Aoyama-san was yelling at me. And I'm right next to the wall, and we're having an air conditioner installed, a heater and an air conditioner installed in our printing room. The money from all these owls has to go somewhere. And the girls, they want a better situation to work in, of course. And we've had a little temporary air conditioner plugged into the window. But it's time to invest in a real one. And the workman to come and start that work is coming in this morning, and the installation point is right on the wall right next to me. So So we should actually just wrap this up. It's 9:20 now. So can we leave it there? Out of focus, Dave. Thanks for coming in today to the stream here. Tomorrow, we'll be carving, and I'm going to get Aoyama-san to try and look a bit more at this camera, see if we can figure out how to make it work a bit better. Oh, now it's gone in focus. Hey! What have I done? Anyway, there we go. Back again tomorrow, downstairs on my carving bench. We're doing okay, people. Thanks very much. Tons of support. We're selling a ton of prints. We're not making anywhere near enough prints. We need more printers, but we're having great fun at this. And for as long as this train stays on the tracks, we're going to keep going. Having a ton of fun. Thanks very much. Sorry about the bit of chaos. See you again tomorrow in a bit more quiet, congenial situation, I hope. Thank you again. Step 1, camera off. Step 2 normally is hang up the microphone, but there is no microphone right now. So anyway, that's it. Away we go. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Thank you.